Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we'll show you how the COVID-19 outbreak is changing Kentucky's state budget. And we talked with officials at local addiction recovery facilities to see how they are making sure those in recovery do not relapse while in isolation. And on Sunday, Governor Beshear ordered Kentuckians to not leave the state, but the mayor of one city near the Tennessee border says that will be difficult to enforce.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Katie Cook. It is Wednesday, April the 1st, and your time is right about 6 o'clock. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, you say today's going to be a little bit gloomy, but we do have some sunshine in our future, so that's really exciting.
Exactly. Several days in a row, in fact, so I'm really excited about that. But today, keep the rain gear handy early, and then you'll probably need the jacket all day long. Let's take a look and see what's going on live pinpoint Doppler radar. And again, most of it's clustered near the Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia border at the moment. But again, we still have the possibility to see some off and on throughout the day. Limited visibility in some areas this morning, especially Harlan, Wise, and Jonesville, so be careful of that as you're heading out the door. Higher elevations, you'll see that at UVA Wise this morning, although it has backed off a little bit since earlier, so that's some good news for those folks. If you're traveling in that area or in those higher elevations, be careful this morning. Temperatures running in the 30s and 40s as you head out the door. That's still several degrees colder from this time yesterday, 2 degrees colder in Huntington to 13 degrees colder down toward Jacksboro in East Tennessee. So 39, give or take a degree or two this morning, 48 this afternoon. Some folks, if you're lucky, might get closer to 50. And then we start to clear those skies out tonight as temperatures get back down to the mid to upper 30s. I'll have the extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Katie?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Kentucky lawmakers will consider a one-year budget proposal later today. Traditionally, Kentucky passes a two-year budget. However, the coronavirus has caused the General Assembly to change plans. Lawmakers say any proposal likely won't have an accurate projection of state revenue. During his daily update, Governor Beshear said he's open to a one-year budget if that gets lawmakers to pass a plan and go home. And Monday was a difficult day in Kentucky. Governor Beshear says 7 more people died from the coronavirus. The governor also announced 114 new cases. We also learned police and fire departments can hire back retired first responders without impacting their retirement. And childcare is now expanded to people who work in grocery stores. The governor says even tougher days could be ahead of us. The majority of the new cases are within the Golden Triangle, which is the area between Lexington, Louisville, and Cincinnati. This map shows all the counties in Kentucky with confirmed cases. One new county in particular may stick out to some of us here in Eastern Kentucky. Shortly after Governor Beshear's news conference ended last night, Perry County reported its first COVID-19 case. During a news conference last night here in Hazard, the Kentucky River District Health Department says a 79-year-old man tested positive for the virus.
We knew that this was going to happen. We knew that we would have a positive here in Kentucky River, and we knew that this would go throughout our district, as it is pretty much every county throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Now, those officials could not give out any more details about the person infected. Perry County officials also announced an executive order restricting one person per family allowed in public areas such as grocery stores. Across the country, as we work to slow the spread of COVID-19, there's another fight going on, one we probably can't see right now, the fight to keep those in addiction recovering. WYMT's Connor James talked with some experts in the field about why now, more than ever, it is important for those in recovery to stay connected.
We're treating an epidemic inside of a pandemic.
Behind closed doors, some people are fighting one of the toughest battles those recovering from substance abuse face: isolation.
Addiction is the opposite of connection.
Matt Brown is the chief of staff for addiction recovery care in Lawrence County.
Because when you're in active addiction, you're actually isolating yourself from people, especially those that love you the most and want to help you.
This May, Matt will celebrate 6 years clean after his own 18-year battle with addiction.
Well, The disease addiction feeds off of isolation. It thrives in isolation.
Albert and Becky Kilburn are both in recovery too. Becky is now the director of an intensive outpatient program for people with substance abuse.
3 face-to-face contacts per week with the clients. It's intensive.
The National Institute on Drug Abuse shows that in 2018, roughly 67,000 people died from an overdose. On average, that's about 184 people a day. American Addiction Centers say that of all Americans over 12 years old, 19.7 million of them said they had a substance abuse disorder in 2017. Staying connected through AA and NA meetings is crucial to staying clean, which is why there is a massive push to telehealth. Groups like ARC are pushing those services.
In theory, I could be by myself, but still be very connected to people. So I want to encourage people to use online resources.
And for those who are struggling, staying sober during this time,
Don't isolate by yourself and get in your head. Get with somebody.
many who have already fought addiction say you're not alone. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now we do have multiple links to resources online for those who may be in recovery. Just look for this story on our website, WYMT.com. On Sunday, Governor Beshear ordered Kentuckians to not leave this state. He says traveling across state lines could bring more cases of coronavirus back to the Commonwealth. The governor says that's the case with traveling to Tennessee. But Williamsburg Mayor Roddy Harrison says it will be hard to enforce the order. Instead, he's asking people to follow the guidelines on their own. Southeastern Kentucky Rehabilitation Industries Incorporated locations throughout the Cumberland Valley are working to make 275,000 face masks for emergency management. At a board meeting, administrators wanted the employees to make masks for themselves so they could feel more comfortable coming to work. A few days later, State Emergency Management contacted them as well. Since last Thursday, workers have been sewing to try and meet the statewide need.
Folks need it now. They need it stockpiled, and this is a game changer. And see how we can manufacture for our country in a time of need.
SEKRI plans to have those masks finished within 6 to 8 weeks. Meanwhile, Harlan County High School officials donated 500 lab coats to Appalachian Regional Healthcare workers yesterday. The school made the donation to help the hospital battle COVID-19. Now, with hand sanitizer becoming a hot commodity during the pandemic, several businesses in the region are working to lend a hand. WYMT's Buddy Forbes spoke to 2 different businesses in Pikeville that are making the product more accessible.
The moonshine was all stocked, so Dueling Barrels set its sights on a different project.
We kind of just amped up and fired up our stills again.
Creating hand sanitizer to provide a community service for the people who are on the front lines of the pandemic.
We gave a lot to the city of Pikeville to hand out to all the first responders.
Pikeville Medical Center and other places in the county that remain open were also recipients of the free product.
When you go drop off something to a pharmacy who hasn't had any hand sanitizer in 2 weeks, they're very happy to see you.
One of those pharmacies, Pikeville Discount Drug, is also giving out free hand sanitizer.
We know that the demand right now for hand sanitizer and cleaning supplies is in a high demand with all of this going on, so we took it upon ourselves to get in contact with some local distilleries.
The pharmacy purchased liquid sanitizer from Tennessee Hills Distillery to give away to customers and local businesses.
We're handing them out probably 1 per car, even if they're not customers. We're still trying to help stop the spread of the germs right now.
As part of a regional effort to keep people safe.
Because we know how serious this is getting. We know that there's not a case in Pike County right now, so we would really like to prevent that.
And sanitized. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Find out how you can take advantage of the free hand sanitizer on our website, WYMT.com. Well, as temperatures start warming up, some folks worry if mosquitoes can spread COVID-19. Experts say, as far as they know, mosquitoes do not spread the virus. Now, that does not mean you should not be careful with those flying pests, which can still spread other diseases. Kentucky is an ideal habitat for mosquitoes. They are semi-aquatic, and it's already been a very wet year in the bluegrass.
So people do need to be concerned. There are other issues that can come up that we shouldn't forget about just because of the coronavirus. West Nile virus is, of course, one with mosquitoes. We saw an encephalitis outbreak in some northern states last year with mosquitoes.
So as temperatures warm up, make sure to not leave standing water near your home and grab some insect repellent as you head outside.
Still some moisture congregating near the border with Kentucky and Virginia this morning. Let's take a look at it on a live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you see some pinks and greens and blues mixing in there right there along the highest elevations on top of the Black Mountain there and to parts of southwest Virginia. Be careful up there this morning, especially in those higher elevations. Had some snow up there yesterday. Shared some pictures from yesterday afternoon of snow on the roads in some locations in Harlan, right there into the higher elevations and into Wise counties as well. Speaking of Harlan, 3 miles of visibility due to fog, so be careful out there this morning. Same thing in Wise and Jonesville, limited visibility there as well. Temperatures right around 40 degrees, give or take a degree or two depending on where you are. 4-degree difference there in Wise. They're at 36 in the coldest spot in our region. Today, welcome to April. It's the first day of April, and this is no April Fool's joke. It's just going to be mainly cloudy, and you'll see tomorrow sunshine returns and then sunny and warmer as we wrap up the week there on Friday. Katie?
All right, thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way next. Coming up, while sports being canceled or postponed due to COVID-19 has dampened the spirits of many, it is also draining the wallets of some sports officials.